All right, welcome back to another Zero Downtime podcast. How you doing today, Logan?
I'm doing well, John.
All right, well, today we have an episode. All right, on today's episode, we're going to talk about everything that was announced at the Worldwide Developer Conference, Apple. I think you're going to be disappointed.
I was going to say, was it all good things?
You need to patch your UniFi gear. So if you're a Ubiquiti person, you need to get patched today, not tomorrow, not an hour ago, right now. Well, an hour ago would have been better, actually. Hackers got access to Instagram by simply asking Meta's AI for help. And I think you'll be surprised who got hit. Yeah. Microsoft just put Linux commands directly into Windows. Now that's impressive. The amount of times that I've gone to the Windows terminal and typed ls only for it to tell me the command not found.
I was wondering if we were going to get through one episode without Microsoft.
I mean, we were close. We were close. And Google Photos, yes, Google Photos is still a thing, wants to decide what you wear.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. First, the meme of the day. We've got, it's not showing, so I'm just going to describe it. We've had all sorts of technical difficulties before we even started the episode today. Well, anyways, it's Kermit the Frog, and it says, hacker, I have all your passwords. And it says, me, awesome. Thank you. What are they? Luckily, that one was pretty good for the audio and video.
Yes, that was like
we all know.
You could explain.
We all know that what Kermit the Frog looks like. So
exactly.
I mean, that's like sort of timeless. I bet my kids even know what Kermit the Frog is, and the Muppets weren't even really a thing.
Yeah, I'd have to ask mine. I don't know if they would.
Yeah. So how was your week last week?
It was good.
Yeah.
We were in Minneapolis for some basketball.
Thank you for
less dramatic than Omaha.
Yeah, nobody pulled a gun on anyone?
No.
Or brandished a weapon at least?
No one brandished a weapon, no fights that I saw.
Big facility like in Omaha?
It was actually at a school.
Oh.
But it was gyms everywhere. So I'm like, ooh, what school has this? But obviously up in Minnesota, they have some large schools.
Was it downtown Minneapolis or was it a smaller outskirts?
It was in the outer. It was out in Maple Grove.
Maple Grove. All right.
So
all right.
It was good. It was the first time for this tournament.
Yeah.
So they didn't have enough teams. So Wyatt's team played up.
Oh.
That's grade older boys.
That's probably not very good for them.
They kind of got their butts. Let's just say the boys were all bigger.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta learn the loss, right?
Yeah. Wyatt was getting real mad when he was getting stuffed, but he made it through.
Hopefully next year, obviously they do it next year because they have older kids. So maybe next year they'll have their stuff together and it'll all work out.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Learning experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I experienced what I'm calling the replanting. So on Monday, get a call from the elevator asking me what type of beans I planted. And I didn't order the beans, and so I didn't know.
Yep.
And so I called the bean salesman, and I said, hey, what brand of beans did we plant? And he told me, and they're beans that can be sprayed with dicamba. It's a type of spray.
Okay.
The beans the elevator thought we planted could be sprayed with 2,4-D. So they sprayed 2,4-D on my dicamba beans and killed them all.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, so we hired out the planting, and I called the guy who did the custom planting, and I called the guy we bought the seeds from, and I said, can I buy do you have enough seeds? I only need like 90 bags. We're not a big operation, right?
Yep.
But I'm like, do you have 90 bags of seed that are the kind that can take the 2,4-D spray? And he goes, yep, I have extra, and they're way on sale if you buy them after the fact. I found out. Like, I don't know, 90% off. So anyways, and then I called the guy with the planter and I said, hey, so here's what'll happen. I explained the whole thing to him. And he said, it's funny. I just unhooked the planter yesterday. And I'm like, oh, awesome. He goes, no big deal. We'll get it hooked back on. We'll change the plates up and I'll be over. And I said, what are we, July 10th today? Yeah, July 10th today.
June 10th.
June 10th today. And I said, when do you think, it's supposed to rain or whatever? He goes, oh, I'm thinking this afternoon.
That's why I love small towns.
So I Went to the bar, had lunch, chicken sandwich.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. It's not their best meal because it wasn't a fried chicken sandwich. It was a grilled chicken
True,
sandwich,
you
which, sometimes you got to look out for the heart every once in a
There
while.
you go. Little health.
With fries and a sugar cookie
Ooh.
and
I could have been all behind that sugar cookie.
a can of squirt.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a good meal. And then headed back out to the farm, had to meet the insurance adjuster. And I'm like, I said, why do I have to meet the insurance adjuster? I'm obviously this isn't covered by insurance. And the guy's like, no, we just have to put it in the file to make sure you don't try to make a claim later.
Oh, like something else would have happened while they're all dead.
Yeah.
So do they just plant exactly where the other beans were, or
no,
do they go
so
off
we planted at an angle.
Okay.
So that way, if anything lived, which it looks like some of the plants may live, they won't battle because obviously the plants that are dying are going to produce less if they make it all the way. See, back in the day, I remember back in the 90s when we would farm, we would like burn the field. It would be like we'd spray, and then for like 2 or 3 days, everything would be yellow, and then it would all come back.
Okay.
But, in the last 10, 15 years, I don't know how long, maybe longer, fields don't do that anymore. They are green after being sprayed. Everything else is dead, but the fields are green. So we don't really burn the crops anymore. And when the guy who planted came out, he goes, yeah, this is dead. So I guess thanks for the elevator for calling to find out.
Yeah.
After the fact, I did call the elevator and say it was not the local elevator in George. It's a different one.
Okay.
But I did call the elevator after the fact and say, hey, I know you had a different deal set up with my uncle to just come and just tend to it as you see fit. But from now on, just give me a call. He goes, yeah, your uncle was always really hard to get a hold of. And I said, I know, but I will answer my phone. I promise.
Yeah.
So you just call and I'll make sure to answer. And if I don't have the answer, I'll get the right answer for you, so that way we can make sure to plant the right things.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That was the replanting.
Well, hopefully this goes well for you.
I think it'll be fine. Like I say, we planted the right kind of beans that can live through the 240. And then the elevator goes, well, we may have to come and spray again. And I go, pretty sure you killed everything. So
you got it done last time.
So Claude Mythos got released yesterday as Fable, and I have not experimented with it yet. It burns tokens like crazy.
Does it?
And so, but here's the thing: it's only free until June 22nd. Which I don't really have a story on this, but I've had a lot of time to think about it over the last 12 hours since I've realized that it came out. We are at a crossroads at AI now, and what's going to happen here is their premium model is only free until the 22nd. Then they're going to start charging for it.
But what if you're already on there? Like
it doesn't matter.
Plan? They're going to charge you just an additional
They're going to charge
add-on?
you. They're going to. I don't know if it's even included.
So what's Mythos supposed to do?
Mythos is super powerful. Mythos is the one that they gave governments access to, and they gave some of these Fortune 500 companies access to first. In fact, I've read over the last 12 hours or whatever, the amount of guardrails that they put into Mythos or Fable, where it won't let you do a lot of things because it's too powerful.
Crazy. I mean, it popped up for me this morning, and I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So I just clicked the X button because I wasn't sure.
It's good. It's definitely good for like security researchers and things like that. There's a thing that they do when writing code. So I always told you like my litmus test for AI was when I lived in Mankato. I worked at Computer Renaissance.
Yep.
Yeah, all classy like.
Yeah.
And my litmus test, or the kid there was a computer science major at Mankato State, and he had to write in assembly a whale going across a terminal and then going back across a terminal. And so my like litmus test for AI is, all right, can AI one-shot this? And what one-shot means is like I give it a prompt and it gets it right on the first try. And so what I saw this morning, kind of just browsing X, I was seeing lots of one-shotted applications that were awesome.
Oh, okay.
Somebody wrote a visualizer for packets, but it was a highway. So you have packets, you have TX and RX packets, right? So you have what you're transmitting, what you're receiving. They visualize the packets going in and out of the network card as cars on a highway. It was really cool, yeah. And I saw somebody one-shotted a piano. I don't know if you've ever watched. We do, because in our house we play piano. Well, I don't. My kids play piano, and when you go on YouTube and you watch the videos of like songs you might be interested in, it shows you a piano, and then it shows you the keys it's pressing to play the song. So you could technically learn that way.
Yep.
But we just did it to listen to the music, so that way we could. Anyways, somebody one-shotted a program that does that.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. So Fable looks really awesome. I think they're saying it's $50. I don't remember how many tokens it is, but it's like $50 for X number of tokens input and $150 for output, X number of tokens output. It's cheaper than Claude. I'm sorry, cheaper than ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But still very expensive when you pay per token.
We'll see how this affects some businesses that are clicking for the free until June 22nd.
Like I said, the shift in AI here is going to be, we're going to charge for the premium model, and then when the new model comes out, maybe we'll shove what was the premium model down to the plebes, right?
To everyone else.
Yeah, to everyone else. So I mean, that's a really big change, because ChatGPT and Claude both, when you pay for the premium plan, you get access to the premium model right away.
Yep.
Yeah, it has limits on it, right? Or ChatGPT will become visibly worse at the longer the context window is.
Yeah.
On the newest models, but you still get basically unlimited access to the newest models. Where Anthropic has never really given you unlimited access.
No, they've always throttled you, it seems.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a pretty life-changing model, I guess. I have not tried it, but I'm saving my tokens for the other projects I'm working on. So, anyways, all right. So this week is Worldwide Developer Conference. So what that is Apple goes all in for their developers, and they release a whole bunch of different stuff, all basically for developers. So the new iOS, the new macOS. If they have new hardware, they'll sometimes release it at Worldwide Developer Conference. A lot of times they'll do some hardware at Worldwide Developer Conference, or sometimes not, and then they'll have a release in August or something like that. They'll do a release later. So, anyways, what Apple is doing now is basically they're all in on AI. As we predicted, they went all in with Gemini.
Okay.
And I've read mixed reviews on using Siri connected to Gemini now. So far, it appears that the local model doesn't exist yet.
Okay.
So some reports say it does. It's about 8 gigabytes. And some reports say if you want to set an alarm using Siri, you have to have internet access.
Oh, that's nuts, because you can already do that.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I don't personally use Siri. I find Siri creepy.
It's not that I will forever say set a timer to go off at like 6:30.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go do it. I just say that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that not working if it needed internet.
Yeah. Right. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyways, I think it's going to be interesting to find out if Apple can really shift it like they've sold it over the last few years. I think, though, the biggest announcement of Worldwide Developer Conference 2026. You ready for this?
Yes.
It's not hardware.
Darn it.
They are getting rid of liquid glass. Do you not believe me?
I believe you, but I know that would be your biggest takeaway of the whole thing, because you hate liquid glass.
So while not truly getting rid of liquid glass, they are allowing you to completely customize it. That makes it so you can completely get rid of liquid glass.
That many people had a problem with it.
Yes. Why do you think I'm an outlier?
Because you always are.
There's no reason to think that I'm an outlier and that liquid glass, everyone else just loves it except for John. No, liquid glass sucks. It sucks since the beginning. It's awful. Biggest takeaway of Worldwide Developer Conference 2026. It's not the new name for macOS, which is what is it? Golden Gate.
Golden Gate.
Which, come on, you've done Sonoma, you've done Tahoe, you've done all these beautiful places, and then you pick the Golden Gate Bridge where people jump off and die.
Well, aren't you painting a pretty picture?
Yeah, and also as we predicted, Logan, that I like how I give you credit.
Thank you.
The AI photos is happening. So we talked about that on last week's episode.
Yeah, how it's going to ruin some apps.
Yeah, and while they didn't come out and say that, because I think that would be bad for business, they did.
Correct.
They did come out and say that they're going to be cleaning up some unwanted, like having some stuff that'll clean up unwanted objects in the video, in the pictures, expanding photos beyond their original borders. So AI extra.
Yep.
Okay. Reframe and spatial reframing. I don't know what that means, but it's for changing perspective and composition after the photo was taken. So I don't know how you change perspective on a photo, but that's interesting. Like if I'm taking a photo directly of your face, could I turn to the side?
I mean, I'm guessing that's what it means.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what the words mean. Yeah. Safari is getting a big upgrade too, which I'm not even going to say I'm on the fence with AI browsers. I hate AI browsers.
I mean, you can say what your next thing is, but that would drive me crazy.
Yeah, so Safari's getting an AI upgrades. They're getting automatic tab grouping.
That's my problem.
Which all I'm thinking is okay, I already use this like a little tiny screen.
Yeah.
And like what are tab grouping going to do for me?
What I didn't even like in the last update to get back to like your other pages, like you have to click a couple times where you used to never had to click that much to like see all the browser tabs you have open. Now you have to click at least twice to get in, and now they're going to group them.
The only reason I go to the tab screen on my phone is to close the 1,000 tabs that I have open.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I open that many tabs, but it's there.
There's a lot of times I will open something that I see, knowing that I'm not going to read it right now, but I will go back and look at my tabs to be like, oh, yes, I was interested.
Yeah, I do that too, and then I just don't ever read them. And then I have 1,000 open.
Okay, I read mine every once in a while.
This is interesting. So like I'll open a recipe, right?
Yeah.
And I got to go on Saturdays, my day to cook, right? So I go to the store and I buy the ingredients for my recipe and I have the tab, right? And I'm like, oh, I'll read this later to know what to set the smoker to. So that way I know what to, and then inevitably come 4 o'clock or whenever I have to start the smoker, open a new tab, redo the search, find the same article or a similar one.
Oh, these ingredients are different.
The ingredients are different, but the smoker time seems the same. That's going to include AI-assisted browsing.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know what that means, but I don't need a helper.
No.
Oh, John, maybe you meant this. No, probably didn't.
Yeah, I would have typed that if I wanted that.
Text prompt-based extension creation. Okay, interesting. So I can build an extension on the fly from prompts.
Just think of that, though, the AI-assisted browsing.
Yeah.
How that's going to affect analytics for people that are like meaning to come to your site, end up accidentally on your site because they're trying to push you to where they want you to go.
Right. Well, and you know, obviously money talks, and how soon until a competing site pays to have AI suggest their site instead of your site.
Yes.
You know, johnhass.com has way better stuff than loganwood.com. You should go see his site instead.
Yes, the loganwood.com one.
Yeah. Well, that'd be me advertising against you.
I know.
Actually,
Which you would.
I wouldn't have to. So the goal appears to be reducing the need to hunt through menus and manually organize browser sessions. I don't know. To me, that's like part of the experience of browsing the web is like curating your stuff so that way it's good for you, not so much good for AI. One of the guys at our office sent me a message yesterday and is using Claude to do like a summary roundup of his inbox every day.
Okay.
And it was actually really cool because it had his action items. And it had other things too, like, oh, these are other details. Like these tickets were closed, but like maybe you don't care. There's no action there.
Yeah.
But it was specific. It's like, you need to do X, Y, Z. You need to do this for this person. Like you need to have this meeting. You need to do all these things.
So is he feeding
I don't
his
know.
email into Claude?
I didn't ask how he did it.
Okay.
I mean, I would assume it's some type of extension
Probably.
that he connected to his Outlook.
Probably.
But I thought that was really interesting. You know, I had somebody, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I was at Hy-Vee and I was checking out. And I've known this gal for a long time, since I was dating my wife. And I just gave her a nod at the store, and I'm like, I'm not stopping to talk. I don't do that, right? And we're getting ready to leave. You know what she says to me as we're leaving? As she's walking out, I'm still running the self-checkout because I don't like to talk to people. And she goes, "Hey, love your political views," and just walked out.
People that like that just feed your ego.
Oh man, I love it so much. So one of the less flashy things that's coming out in the new iOS 27 is more parental controls. So they're going to get more granular access to app restrictions, better content filtering. I think these are good things.
I was like, there isn't a ton right now.
Well, so Apple is, a walled garden, obviously.
Yeah.
And they make it tough to access different things inside the operating system from apps that are sandboxed together. Now, they've created APIs over the years that allow you to touch those things, but really you still have to live within the Apple ecosystem to get it done. Well, now, of course, Apple has seen like, wow, these parental control apps really sell. So let's just make our own.
Yeah.
That's what Apple does. And so there can be better content filtering, permissions-based browser controls, and enhanced screen time management. My wife, she does that screen time thing.
And we have it on our kids too.
But my wife does it to herself.
Oh, I don't do
it
to myself.
Like it's like an app limiting thing.
Yeah.
And every time I see it, it's got the little hourglass spinning, and I go, doesn't that mean you've already used your time?
But you should be asking how many times does she skip over it, because you can keep going.
Oh yeah, all it does is kind of give you a little, hey, are you sure you want to be doing this?
I also turned on my kids where they like it detects how close their phone is to their face, so they have to pull it back.
Really? That's a thing?
Yeah, they hate it.
Because they want their phone to be close to their face?
Well, because they always hold it close.
Oh, I tell you, I'm going blind.
You have not.
Oh, so
have you gone? Well, you had cheaters at one point.
I still have the cheaters. I just don't always bring them with me. But Kristen caught me the other day. I don't know what I was doing. I was reading something, and I went in and out, and I did it a bunch of times. And she just starts laughing, and I'm like, I refuse to believe that
There's not a chance that you don't need glasses. You stare at computers all day long.
So like I said, Apple unveiled macOS Golden Gate, which I do not like the name, but, I guess it's neither here nor there. I am not Apple. It was also Tim Cook's last Worldwide Developer Conference as CEO.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly, the new CEO never took the stage.
That is interesting.
I thought that was an interesting choice. I figured there would be some kind of handoff.
Yeah, just
something like that.
Some sort of Unity presence.
But there wasn't. So macOS Golden Gate is going to drop support for the Intel CPU. So it's Apple Silicon only.
Okay.
So I don't know how that really affects most people. I think where it really hurts people is the second party resellers of Apple equipment. There's a lot of Intels out there.
Yeah.
And so now they're just stuck, whatever the latest is, Tahoe, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're getting updates for the Vision Pro. I didn't see that coming.
Woo.
So Siri AI integration, visual intelligence features, curved virtual windows, improved panorama support, faster Wi-Fi, and enhanced widget customization. I mean, what's interesting is that it seems like, even though I said in the past, Apple killed Vision AI.
Yeah.
I mean, a big update to Vision AI is interesting. I know that they have to support the product for so long before they throw it in the garbage.
Well, they weren't free, so
$3,500 for a pair of goggles.
Yeah.
So I just found it interesting that they basically did a big update for it. But I think the most important thing here in Worldwide Developer Conference is what Apple didn't announce.
I know, but they don't always.
Don't get your panties in a wad here. We're all right. They're going to announce your foldable iPhone. Don't worry. Just not right now.
Patiently waiting.
I mean, I think they normally do an announcement in August. for a September rollout.
Yeah, I was like, it seems like they've lately been doing that to hit right before the holidays.
So yeah, no new iPhones, no new Macs, no new Vision products, not surprisingly, and no surprise hardware. Although they did kill a bunch of Apple Watch series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think
they announced that on.
Well, basically they said what the new Watch OS will support.
Okay.
And it basically killed a whole bunch of series of watches. So yeah. So not announced, but still interesting in iOS 27. In iOS 27, Apple appears to be working on a feature that's going to be able to lock you. Oh, no, feature? Probably not a feature. A carrier positive feature that if you're not paying your bill, it'll be able to lock you out of using apps.
I think that's crap.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I mean, pay your subscription.
All I'm saying is if you are paying for everything.
Yeah.
And I get that yes, you should be paying for your carrier, but I don't get why the carrier can lock you out of your phone that you're paying for.
I think that
or that you paid for.
I think that the way that it works is so it's not so much your $30 or $100 a month Verizon plan. It's the subsidized Apple phone part of it.
Oh,
so if you're not paying the bill for the Apple phone,
like if you bought it through Apple,
and
you're not paying,
you got to pay the extra $20 a month or whatever over your 2-year contract to buy the phone. I don't know. That's probably more than $20, but anyways, it if you don't pay that part of it, which probably means you're not paying your bill anyways, they can start locking you out of apps.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different if you're not paying Apple directly.
And like I said before, Apple's rolling back the largest mistake in history of Apple. I don't know about the history, but liquid glass. You'll now be able to manually adjust the effect out of iOS interfaces, and they've restored the cornerstone UI elements in macOS like full width sidebars and toolbars. One other interesting thing they did that I didn't write down here was, do you ever use your iPad as a second monitor?
Always.
Okay. You're going to be able to use on the new Mac OS the touchscreen. The iPad has a touchscreen on your Mac. So like when you have Windows over there, I think that's a stupid feature, but there are probably some people out there that like it.
I, every once in a while, will catch myself touching it.
Oh.
Obviously, it doesn't respond.
Yeah. Well, we'll soon.
I guess I should say it never has in the past.
Well, it will soon, and you'll probably make lots of mistakes.
We'll see.
Like I say, I just feel like touchscreen computers are just a scourge. Like I don't actually mind the fold over ones.
Yeah.
But touchscreen in general, where you just sit there and instead of using a touchpad or a mouse, you're like a Neanderthal reaching over the top of the keyboard, touching the screen. Come on.
I mean, not saying I want it in my computer, but when it's already part of my tablet.
Well, okay. A tablet is designed to be touched.
I get that. What I'm saying is I always use mine as an extra monitor because heck, the graphics on it are better than any.
I mean, it makes a good monitor. It's the touchscreen part of it that I have a problem with. I'm not arguing the monitor part of it. I'm arguing the touchscreen part of it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll try not to touch it around you.
Please.
That sounds absolutely terrible.
You said it. All right. So patch your UniFi gear now. There's an unauthenticated root exploit discovered, and you're going to love it. It's a perfect 10. Last week we were talking about the one Microsoft, the net logon one that was a 9.8, and I had joked that maybe Microsoft bought a few points down.
Yep.
But UniFi apparently doesn't have the same pull over when they got a perfect 10. So, anyways, if you're running the UniFi OS server, especially, you need to stop what you're doing, check the version, and security researchers discovered a vulnerability chain. So it's actually 3 different CVEs all put together for one magic unauthenticated root access. So we're talking CVE 2026 34908, 34909, and 34910 right in a row. Individually, these bugs are bad, but combined, they allow an attacker to bypass authentication completely, access files, execute commands, and obtain total root access to the server. So, as I said, 10.0 is the highest score that's possible. And what as we said last week, what a 10.0 means is you can do it reliably. which means basically every time you try, you chain these three together, it's
work.
toast. Yeah, you're in the hacker voice, you're in. So once compromised, the attackers could potentially access the UniFi network configurations, the cameras, the door access, the voice systems, authentication secrets, and API credentials, and manage networking equipment throughout the organization. In the biz, we call that in your pants. They are essentially in your pants. They have access to everything. Now, in the computer industry, we have this term called single pane of glass. And so what single pane of glass means is I have one piece of equipment that controls my entire infrastructure. So, for example, Fortinet. Fortinet makes like 1 billion products. And if they don't make it, they'll be buying a company next week that does make it, right?
Yeah.
And so then they go and they take their flagship product, the FortiGate firewall, and they integrate all of the other products into the FortiGate, right? And so I can log into the FortiGate firewall and control all my devices. That's single pane of glass.
Okay.
So UniFi has something very similar. Now, UniFi, while is a wealthy company, is nowhere near the standard of FortiGate.
Okay.
And as I've said in the past, we are sometime going to have a deep dive into why I hate Ubiquiti, but I still use it. And it's things like this that come along. Now, granted, FortiGate has had their share of troubles in the last couple of years, right? But it seems like when a UniFi bug drops, it's almost always a 10.
Is there a fix for this?
Yes. So, if you're running versions 5.0.6 or earlier, you're vulnerable to the demonstrated attack. However, the CVEs also have numerous UniFi appliances affected. The Dream Machine series, the cloud gateways, the MVRs, the cloud keys, and the UniFi Express devices. So, update to 5.0.8 or newer. Hardware appliances should be updated to the fixed versions listed in the Ubiquiti Security Advisory. Restrict access. I want to just touch on this just for a brief second. If your management of your equipment is easy to access, that means it's easy to access for everyone. If you can sit down at the secretary's desk and get on your UniFi appliance that manages the doors, the cameras, all the stuff,
Yep.
You're not running a secure network. You're not running something that should be safe. That is safe. That should be safe. That is safe. You're running something that's not safe. They should be VLANed off separately. It should be complicated to get access to all the time. If it's hard for you, it's even harder for an attacker. If Susie at the front desk can get to it, it's really easy for an attacker to get to it. And then if the attacker knows that all they have to do is chain these three together, they're in. And then all of a sudden they pivot to a Ubiquiti access point. And so now nobody knows that Susie's computer was the one that was hit because the attacker lives in your cameras and they live in your access point. And now they have all the time in the world to learn things about your network, browse, steal your files. I mean, if you think that they can't use an access point to exfiltrate files from your network, you're crazy. I learned a new one. I was talking to Keith. He's at a conference right now. I was talking to Keith last night, and I think he was a Microsoft researcher was giving a presentation.
Okay.
And in all MSP businesses, they're really struggling right now with Microsoft's session stealing. So they steal the session tokens for Outlook, and then now they're in the email doing whatever. But the new thing is that they're getting into the SharePoint.
Oh.
And that's a bigger deal. So SharePoint is like file sharing. And so now what used to be they steal your address book and then spam everybody. Now they're in your SharePoint stealing your files.
That'd be a little bit bigger of a problem.
And they're also exfiltrating data based on your AI logs. So if they're in your Outlook and they're in your SharePoint, they certainly can be in your Copilot.
Yep.
And Microsoft has a tie-in to ChatGPT. So now they're in your ChatGPT logs as well, stealing all of that. And if you happen to paste a password into Copilot or paste a password into ChatGPT,
Yep.
Boom.
I think this is one of the issues when you pretty much have such a dominant force just for your email.
Yeah. And so, and there is a solution for the Microsoft session stealing that everyone they should call their MSP, call A&P, and we'll help you get through it that your session token can't be stolen, because once it's stolen, it's a big deal. I mean, it's all hands on deck, get it all shut off. And then we sell you the right product, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft has a fix for this. They just want to charge you for it. So the bigger takeaway here is it's just a reminder that your management interfaces are some of the biggest value targets on your network, whether it's your UniFi, your FortiGate, like I said, VMware, Microsoft infrastructure. Exposing administrative portals directly to the internet is becoming increasingly difficult to justify. Over 100,000 UniFi endpoints were completely exposed to the internet at the time of this writing. Not all of them have been upgraded. And the security researchers are saying that once you've been breached, there's no guarantee that the patch fixes the breach. So once you've been breached, you may have always been breached.
Would you just have to change out your equipment then?
Yeah. I mean, you can probably reflash it, but I mean, at that point, I would just replace it and then learn your lesson and don't expose your network management equipment to the internet. And the problem is a lot of times these equipment vendors, their normal stature is to make it easy for you to get into management.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, because if I buy a product and I can't get in to manage it, well, this product's a piece of shit.
Yeah, you'll just be frustrated.
Yeah, so they make it easy, but then they don't make it easy to make it hard.
Well, I think nowadays, too, is if you don't really know how to run it, you probably shouldn't be in it.
Yeah, well, understanding your networks. I mean, we've come a long ways from back in the day when I worked at a different MSP. There was a guy who put two firewalls, one in front of the other, because he thought it would double his speed. That was the head IT guy. Wonder where he is now.
Logic.
All right. And, I've told you in the past, I never try to tell the customer that they're wrong.
Correct.
I just try to work my way into it and then make the customer feel comfortable with this idea rather than just saying, nah, two firewalls is wrong. I'm pretty sure that I was green enough back then. I was just like, no, that's wrong. It doesn't work like that, Tom. All right. So hackers got Instagram accounts by simply asking Meta's AI. This is pretty scary. So in a nutshell, what they did was Meta exposed an AI customer service bot. Because Meta AI, Facebook, all of them, or just not AI, just Meta, Facebook, Instagram, they've always been really known for really, really good customer support.
Yeah. Said no one tried to get a hold of them.
I love that you just agreed with me blindly.
Yeah, no.
So last week, so they made it when they put out this AI, basically Meta goes, it's going to make it faster, safer, more secure, smarter, better than any type of person could ever be.
This is how good Meta's support is. They won't even let us change our Instagram name because we're Meta verified. You have to go through this whole process.
Yeah.
And they still haven't let us change it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fine, I'll just cancel. Like, we will stop paying for the verification because we can't change our darn name.
So last week, basically researchers demonstrated that it's not faster, smarter, or more secure. Hackers managed to take over 20,000 Instagram accounts by exploiting Meta's AI-powered recovery system. The attack didn't require malware or 0 days or sophisticated hacking tools. In many cases, the attackers simply asked the AI for access and it gave it to them. You know what? Maybe you should have done that way.
Maybe I need to go a different route.
Yeah, maybe you could have used the AI system.
I'll go try it.
Yeah. So Meta deployed this AI assistant account recovery tool they called High Touch Support. It was designed to help users recover access to Instagram accounts. The problem wasn't that the AI was hacked. The problem was the AI had access to perform sensitive stuff.
Yes.
Like attackers would provide a username, convince the AI support system to add the attacker-controlled email address, request a password reset, receive the link, take over the account. And that's all she wrote. So it wasn't limited to just random users. Reports indicate that the former Obama White House Instagram account was taken over. Sephora's official Instagram, which until they had a daughter, I had no idea what Sephora was.
Well,
Chalk that up to other places I hate to go.
Well, and it's expensive.
Is it?
Yeah.
I went in there like one time and it smelled like a whorehouse. Not that I've ever been in one of those. Jeez. All right. Guess that's not getting clipped. All right. A senior U.S. Space Force official account and Mark Zuckerberg himself.
I would like to know who some of these people called other than Mark, because I'm sure he could get himself back in.
So I actually saw the pictures of Mark's account. It had all the PII, had his personal emails, his phone number, all of it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Some accounts were briefly defaced after being taken over. Meta says there was no evidence of personal data that was actually stolen, but attacker, as I said, we saw Mark Zuckerberg's phone number. I mean, it was probably, some fake number faced at his real number, but still. Yeah. They did figure out that the attackers could potentially have viewed email addresses, phone numbers, birth dates, direct messages. Photos and posts, profile information, connected accounts, and linked services. And those direct messages weren't encrypted anymore.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
That's they shut that off. So that's a lot more than just part of like the social media part of Instagram. Like, oh, hey, I just own this account now and I can shit post.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you would be all over this. So
to me, the story is not about Instagram. The story, again, as we talk about week after week after week, it's about giving AI too much power.
Yeah.
And these big companies need to learn that, well, yes, humans are fallible. Humans are also trainable in ways that you can't trick. Right?
Yeah.
So I think, well, yes, humans can be tricked to do these things too. When a chatbot is discovered to do it, you can actually do it at scale.
You really think Mark Zuckerberg's account didn't have 2FA?
I would not surprise me. You know the amount of CEOs that bitch when you turn 2FA on?
I mean, I get it.
Like, I'm CEO, I don't have to enter 2FA. Well, no, you're like a high value target. You're like the exact person who needs 2FA.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, I'm not convinced that if you convince the AI agent, even though I wrote it, if you convince the AI agent to change the email, I'm not convinced that you would technically need the 2FA
to get in.
Yeah. Because just like any other system, if you get the right customer service rep, they can shut 2FA off.
Okay.
So, I mean, we just had it happen at GoDaddy. I told you we finally got the school's account back.
No, you didn't say you got it back.
Yeah, we got it back. Finally, we had to have the state attorney general send a letter to GoDaddy's attorneys.
Okay.
And that got their attention. So, yeah, enable 2FA. Always just enable 2FA. If the CEO says don't enable 2FA, find a new job. Honestly, is it worth the risk?
Yeah.
Like, because you know what, when the head guy's account is compromised, it's going to be your problem as the network administrator.
Well, like he isn't fixing it
to fix it. So it's not worth the time if you can't explain, or if he doesn't understand. I'm sure you can explain, but if you can't understand, like, you need to turn this on because you're a high value target, and
that should make him feel good.
Of course it does, but simple's better. I got to get out and golf. Verify your recovery email and phone number. Always review your connected accounts. So a lot of places, and I don't know anything about Instagram, but you can view the devices that have recently logged in. And a lot of them, like your phone, you don't have to log in every single time. Well, you can kick those devices out. I'm assuming you can do that on Instagram.
You can. Yeah. I'm curious. I don't help them with their social, but we just had someone that they all got kicked out, but me.
Interesting.
I didn't know I wasn't the one kicking them all out.
Dun.
I got it back in.
Oh, good deal. Watch for unexpected password reset messages. Now, I get all the time, like, through Google. A lot of times I'll see like, oh, this person tried to log in or whatever.
Yeah.
I usually just ignore those, especially when 2FA is turned on. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the cybersecurity industry has spent decades learning that customer support is one of the easiest places to social engineer. I mean, when we talk about SIM swapping is, for example, why we, A&P says, don't use SMS as a valid form of 2FA. Because what SIM swapping is I know you're running a Verizon phone. There's all different methods to SIM swap, right? So one of the methods to SIM swap is you call into customer support. You say, hey, I'm Joe Blow. I got a new phone. And then you give a little bit of Joe Blow's information, and maybe you even have his PIN code. You maybe don't have the PIN code, and then you social engineer that. And then you convince the person on the other side to swap to the new phone. So all of a sudden, that phone loses service. The person then does a 2FA push, gets a 6-digit code, drains your bank account, drains your Bitcoin, whatever, and it happens almost in an instant. The more impressive SIM swaps are when they hire somebody to hang out at Verizon, and then they give the guy a go. He runs in the store, grabs the iPad or whatever it is that the customer service rep is using, grabs it out of their hands, and bolts out the store. That's pretty impressive, right? And then starts a SIM swap right there. Bang, 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 bang. Just SIM swapping.
I haven't heard of that. But
You haven't heard of them running in the store, grabbing the tablet, and then running out?
Can you imagine? Wouldn't even know what to do.
So, made its big innovation was replacing the support representative with an AI that could be social engineered at machine speed.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but their initial support was not that great. Obviously, this one's continues probably to be in that same category.
And I think the scary part, like as we mentioned, is more companies than just Meta are doing this. They're giving AI access to the internal systems to make decisions that would normally be made for people. I mean, think about this. Person costs 60, 70,000 a year, 40, depending on the area, right? This AI build out probably costs billions.
Well, and also I think too is, are people not thinking worst case?
No, I think that it's all sunshine and roses.
Like, oh, great, he's going to answer this question, how to do a password reset,
right?
And give them a link.
Well,
first of all, no one wants that anyway.
Right.
They want to talk to someone.
Of course. I don't even care most of the time if they have an accent, if they can help me out.
Correct.
I mean, but the problem is when they send it to you and there's literally Ethan and I bought tickets for the Shinkansen, this fast train in Japan, through this app called Klook. And so we bought it. It was for our ride back. Or it was for the ride to the airport. I can't remember. Anyways, the tickets weren't coming through. And so I messaged their support. It's all AI. No matter how hard I tried, I could not get a real person.
Okay.
And to tell you how much more frustrated that made me.
Yeah.
That it was literally circular. It was like, I'm an AI help bot. I want to talk to a person, but I can help you. The tickets didn't come. Well, that's not possible. I want to talk to a person. Well, I'm an AI. I can help you. Oh man. And then they canceled the tickets. And then they called the card fraud. And it happened to everyone in our group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was actually a Klook outage.
Huh.
So
luckily for you to be a part of it.
Yeah. And supposedly never happens.
Ever.
But it happens when I'm there. So Microsoft just put Linux commands directly into Windows. And as I said before, I love this. So in 2001, Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer, you'll remember Ballmer as the guy all sweaty on stage that kept yelling, developers, 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 in one of Microsoft's developer conferences. And then I saw a joke the other day. It was Steve Ballmer yelling, developers, developers, developers. It was like 2001 or whatever.
Yep.
And then it was like 2026, who are we getting rid of first? And then it's developers, developers, developers. But anyway, Steve Ballmer referred to Linux as a cancer that attaches itself to intellectual property. It attaches itself, and I wrote that terribly. But anyways, it attaches itself to intellectual property and steals everything it touches, basically. For decades, one of the biggest complaints from developers and system administrators has been the Windows and Linux speak different command line languages. And let's remember here, Microsoft was first, right?
Yep.
So Microsoft had DOS first. Like Microsoft was first here. And yet they're going to put Windows commands or Linux commands into Windows. So in for example, let me give you a couple of examples here. And I gave one earlier in the show, but if you want to list a directory, in Windows, you type dir. In Linux, you type ls. It makes more sense and it's shorter. And I am not one-sided on this at all. To copy a file, in Linux, you type cp. And in Windows, you type the word copy. Save me 2 characters. Yeah. So Microsoft's doing what would have sounded ridiculous 15 years ago. There's an application in Linux called core utils, and that's like basically where all these commands lived. lscp, well here, lscp, mv, rm, cat, pwd, grep, find, hostname, uptime. Like these are commands that you use almost every day.
Okay.
And they basically, there's a new project out called, I don't know, it's like Rust. Here it is. Yeah. UUtils. It's a Rust re-implementation of GNU Core Utils. So what Rust is a programming language that's memory safe. So last week we talked about buffer overflows, just briefly. Rust is a programming language that basically makes it so those are impossible to do, just in the core language.
Okay.
So it's safer. So why would anybody want this? These commands in Windows? Well, us as Linux administrators, like I mentioned before, we like to chain a few commands together and then go home. Like when we run this big report, chain these commands together and go home. In the morning, the report will be there waiting for us to give to the boss, right? Yep. We've written these huge scripts, pages and pages and pages long, thousands of lines of these commands all chained together to do what we do. And if we want to run it in Windows, we have to rewrite it with commands that are Windows based. And a lot of times they won't have the same options like flags, all of that. So what we could do in the past is we could install what's called WSL. So that's the Windows subsystem for Linux. And you could install that on Windows and you could run those commands. But it was heavy. You had to install like Ubuntu on top of Windows and then you could run those commands. But what we're getting here is basically a drop-in replacement for those commands that I use every day on Linux that I can, these huge scripts that I'm using to program with or to do stuff with, I can just drop them in and this work.
I can tell you're excited.
Oh, I think it's great. I actually think it's so, and Microsoft has been kind of making this push for a little while. Like there's certain commands, curl is one of them. Curl is a command that lets you download web pages through the command line.
Okay.
So basically you could curl something and then like scrape the site basically. It doesn't do JavaScript or anything like that. It's just straight up HTML. It's all, you can download files from the command line too. So it's not all nefarious. It has its purpose and it's an awesome program. Curl is great. So at the 2026 build, which is a Microsoft conference, I believe, Microsoft also announced that they're going to do native Linux containers through WSL containers, which is cool. So a container is, if you think about an emulator is like a layer on top of the CPU where you can emulate CPU, you can emulate hardware, but a container runs at the same level as your operating system, but it runs contained.
Okay.
It's not just a clever name. And actually, that's one thing that Apple also announced at Worldwide Developer Conference is you'll be able to run Linux containers inside of macOS.
Look at Linux.
It's everywhere, man.
Everywhere. Year of Linux. That's what you keep saying.
Yeah. It's the year of the Linux desktop.
Oh, all right.
That's a little bit different than a container. So they also announced AI-powered intelligent terminal. So that's okay, I guess. I don't know. I could see it offering you the wrong ideas, what you're trying to do. One command developer workstation set up through developer configurations. I don't know what that means, short of it'll install your development environment in one command instead of having to install 20 different packages, which I've developed for Windows before. It's a pain in the ass. Like you got to install C++, and then you have to install like the shit to do C#, and then like it's just all this conglomeration of stuff, which Linux has it too, but I don't know. It just seems like I want to develop in C#, install all of the stuff I need to develop in C#. Windows doesn't do that, but I guess now they're going to. So I think Microsoft's message here is pretty clear. They want Windows to be the best platform for Linux developers.
I mean, this might be the most positive you've talked about Microsoft in an episode in a long time.
For years, Microsoft has shit on Linux. For years. And now they're making it better. And you have to remember, right now Microsoft ships Linux and Azure, Linux WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux, Linux containers, command line tools, Linux development workflows. I'm 99% convinced that whatever data center that Microsoft 365 runs in for your email runs on Linux. It's not running it on Windows. I can guarantee you at the Apple data centers, they're running Linux. They're not running some sort of version of macOS made for server. No, they're running Linux, guaranteed.
Can we get someone to tell us?
I don't know anyone with that level of knowledge.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I've stumbled across a few articles talking about like Mac OS's infrastructure is Linux based.
Okay.
So, but I cannot confirm or deny. So somewhere there's an NT administrator from 1998 staring at this announcement in complete and utter disbelief. So it's easy to install. Microsoft has this command called winget. So you pop open PowerShell, you type in winget, install Microsoft.coreutils. Notice how they didn't call it Linux.coreutils.
Yeah.
It's Microsoft.coreutils.
Why give it all the credit?
Yeah, well. So, I mean, to me, this isn't, we've talked a lot about AI in this episode, but this isn't like some flashy AI announcement. In fact, I think this is one of those things that's like base level.
Yeah.
Like this is so rudimentary, like simple, whatever. But honestly, it's got to be like one of the biggest announcements in 2026. Like we've talked a lot today about all sorts of different stuff, like the new Fable that can show packets on a highway, whatever. But I mean, honestly, the biggest announcement to me so far in 2026 is Core Utils getting put into Windows.
Yes. Because you're not biased on Linux at all.
No. All right. So Google Photos wants to decide what you wear. I come across this the other day. So this is going to roll out in the Philippines.
Oh.
Okay. So Google Photos obviously started as a place to back up your photos. Then it became a search engine for your memories. Just like what Google does, everything becomes theirs.
Yep.
Now it wants to become your closet. Google is rolling out an AI-powered feature called Wardrobe. It scans your photo library, identifies the clothes you own, builds a digital closet, and even helps you create outfits using items already hanging in your wardrobe. You ever seen the movie Clueless?
Can you imagine being able to pay to get your products in people's wardrobes so they buy it because they would know it looks good on them?
Do you not think that Google hasn't thought of this already?
I do, but I'm thinking wonderful.
So Google's going to analyze your photos that you've already taken, and it's going to look at your tops, bottoms, dresses, shoes, jewelry, and outerwear. Essentially, your camera roll becomes an inventory for your closet. Once your wardrobe is built, Google lets you mix and match pieces to create new outfits. Planning a work trip? Create a mood board. What the hell is a mood board?
I'm sure yours would be wonderful.
What is it?
What? A mood board? It's usually like different colors that set like different, like blues, greens. They tell you how you're feeling, and then you could match your clothes based on your moods.
So you wake up and you feel in touch with yourself. And
I don't know what color that is.
And you decide what mood you're in. And then
you can get a mood ring. Then it could tell you.
Yeah. Going to a wedding, building several outfit options. So trying to remember if a blue jean jacket works with those. So I'll be honest. You know me and matching and clothes. I literally don't care.
I do know this.
As long as I'm not naked in front of everyone, that's good for me and good for everyone around me. I actually don't care what I wear. Now, I will say that, certain instances, I know it's important to be presentable, right?
Yes.
So I know that when I go to a wedding, I shouldn't dress like complete trash, right? I'm that self-aware.
That's a good step.
But generally speaking, you'll find me in blue jeans and a polo when it's a work day.
Yes. Otherwise, you're just in a tee.
And for most of my career, I didn't even wear the polo.
Not till AMP, probably.
I used to wear a tie and button down every day.
I think you should get back to it.
So did you ever see the movie Clueless?
Yes, I've seen Clueless.
Finally, a movie you've seen. Of course it is. It's about fashion and style. Of course, Logan has seen it. So you remember the scene in there where Cher was like picking out her clothes, or the computer was picking out the clothes, and you could see what they looked like on her?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. I mean, I could see how it could be useful, especially for the underdressing single male.
I'm just curious how many people would go take the time to do it, because you already don't care.
Yeah.
So you're not going to care what someone else tells you to put on.
Unless I'm, trying to go on a date or something and I want to look impressive, I guess. That might be the only instance. I don't even remember what I used to wear when I went on dates. It's been so long since I've been on a date.
We'd have to ask your wife.
Yeah. I used to wear short sleeve shirt with a shirt over top, unbuttoned.
Oh.
Yeah. I was really styling. So one thing that the AI could probably do, which I think my wife could do with shoes, was it could know if you already have something in the bottom of your closet that you've forgotten about.
What are you trying to say, John?
And of course, for the busy professional, it could eliminate the what am I going to wear today scenario. So, of course, this raises an interesting question, as you mentioned. Google Photos already knows where you travel, who are your friends, what your pets look like, and what restaurants you like to visit. So now it can potentially know what's hanging in your closet, and that's, of course, convenient for some people. But with the rise of AI and everything else, it really gives Google a real insight into your life.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to zoom ahead here. I think we've covered this enough. So Google Wardrobe features is first rolling out on Android with iPhone support coming later this year. Whether you'll see it as a useful fashion assistant or another step towards outsourcing daily decisions to algorithms probably depends on how comfortable you are letting your AI organize your life. Like I said, it'll be available in the Philippines to any paid Google user, so all 20 people can use the feature. And with that, Logan, that's all I have for you today.
Oh, John. So I got asked the other day, so I figured you could just answer it.
Was it? How does John have such awesome political views on Facebook?
It was not that. It was with camera systems and AI and detecting faces. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? It depends on your business and where you place the cameras, right? So, front door situations, I think that cameras that detect faces. Okay, well, let me zoom back. At A&P, obviously we have access to lots of different products, right? We have our storerooms full of stuff, right? We have to have it. It's one of those things like I always tell people like, well, I can order it for $20 cheaper on Amazon. And I'm like, but is it here right now? Right. So we have tons of products in our warehouse and we have to have that to do our jobs. But with that, sometimes things walk off. Now, I'm not saying they're stolen. This a perfectly good intention tech grabs a product, puts it in the van, takes it to the customer site, installs it, and just forgets to mark it. He had good intentions of doing it, but just forgot.
Yep.
So we have an intern here this summer who is very interested in facial recognition and using facial and the way he's working on facial recognition is placing cameras next to our products so we can detect when people are picking products off of a counter and know who they are and make a timestamp and say, hey, John, which I would be a big culprit, John took a box from this position on the racking on this date and this time. Here's the picture. Well, now I can say, somebody can say to me, hey, John, did you take a power supply on this date? I'd be like, nah. You're like, oh, here's a picture.
I was like, I don't think they should say, did you?
So in an instance like that, I think that AI is super powerful to be able to No. Now, here's the thing, is in order for it to work, Gabe had to train the AI on our faces. It wasn't that it just knew who John was out of the gate.
Yeah.
Right. He took like my picture from our websites and a few other pictures of mine, put it all together and say,
did Aaron give him a submission of photos? Because that could have only been extremely entertaining.
I don't think so. But so that's how it works. So just because a camera has AI facial detection doesn't mean it's going to know who you are. It has to be trained on it, right?
Okay.
And until obviously, does the government have that? Yeah, they do. I mean, you go to get your driver's license, you go to get your passport, you go to the airport and they take your picture and then they say they're going to delete it after 12 hours. No, they're not going to delete it after 12 hours. They're building a huge database of your face. So that way, when you're walking around, they can facial detect you. So cameras at your business that have AI detection, maybe they can read a license plate.
Yeah.
Or, so let's say you have a stalker at your company. I don't know who stalks companies. Who would stalk a company?
I don't know.
I really made that one up. I pulled that right out of my ass. But say you have a company stalker and you wanna put their license plate of their car into the system and have AI read all the license plates as it comes in and then flag that when that license plate comes on the yard. Or maybe less nefarious, you run a big farming operation and you want to know when trucks are coming in and out. So then you AI the license plates and then you do certain things if different license plates are hit, right?
Yeah.
You know that this guy is driving on site. And then maybe they're filling up tanks or they're unloading grain or they're doing something and you want to know who's doing it. So you use AI recognition to know who's in the tractor because it could, or truck or whatever. And so it could cause less problems in the end.
Yeah.
So I would say that just because something is AI facial recognition or facial recognition doesn't mean it recognizes everyone's face unless you're the government.
Yeah.
Like you're running Flock, any of those things, like they've got everyone's face. But generally speaking, at your office building, at your manufacturing plant, you have badges that you've taken pictures of people's faces. You could load that into an AI system and you could recognize what people are doing on the shop floor, potentially preventing bad things from happening before they happen because you can know who that is that's happening and you could flag the event. If somebody's driving the forklift inappropriately,
Yeah.
you might not catch that as a supervisor and the camera may not flag anything like that. But it could say, I saw John driving this forklift in a spot that shouldn't be, or he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You could catch that before it happens. So as a rule, I'm not against AI in private camera systems trained on your staff or even on your customers. I am, of course, against the government having it.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think people don't fully understand that it would have to be trained. Like when they just hear that it's AI,
Right.
they just assume that it's going to know who you are.
No, it has to be trained. A camera system that you buy is not going to know who's who. I mean, we tested out a gun detection system. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but we tested out a gun detection system. And I don't know if people know this. Out at A&P, we're also a gun seller. So we have our license to sell guns. And so we were able to actually test these cameras with good intention to see if they could actually detect guns. This was pretty early on in the AI detection phase.
I was like, this was a few years ago, it seems like.
And we tested it daily. Matt would literally go walking in to the floor of A&P with a gun. Safely, of course.
I know. I'm like, you might want to throw that in there.
And 9 times out of 10, it didn't catch a gun. And we weren't shy about the size of guns we brought in. Like we weren't just bringing handguns in, we were bringing full length rifles in, all of that. And sometimes it would catch the guns and sometimes it wouldn't. And a lot of times it would false positive. And so we didn't feel comfortable selling that product, right?
Yep.
I know the technology's come a long ways, but I'm always very cautious when somebody says, we can detect guns, we can detect this. All of those AIs all have to be trained. Yeah, the model exists in their cloud service, but you still have to give it your data too. What does your building look like empty? What does it look like full? What does it look like with somebody walking through with a gun?
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, there's a long ways to go in camera AI, but generally speaking, I am okay with facial detection as long as it's not the government.
Sounds good. That's all I have for you, John.
All right. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the little bell. We'll talk to you later.